Welcome, curious minds, to another deep dive. Today, we're embarking on a journey, somewhere pretty different, into a hidden part of the internet. Most of us, well, we never encounter it.
Right, it's often called the dark web, sometimes talked about in layers, like an onion.
Exactly, onion layers. And down in these depths, the rules of our everyday browsing just vanish. We're talking about a place, a sort of clandestine marketplace, where you can find things that are just unimaginable. Weapons, illicit drugs.
And even, disturbingly, things like contract killings being offered openly.
It's shocking. It sounds like something out of a spy thriller. But you're saying this is a real, functioning ecosystem operating right beneath the surface of the internet we use every day.
It absolutely is. It's a realm built primarily for anonymity. And that feature, while it might have had some noble intentions initially, it's become a really powerful tool for, well, all sorts of illegal activities.
That's a really important point, and it perfectly sets the stage for our dive today into this hidden world. Our mission isn't just theoretical discussion. We're actually incredibly lucky. We've been guided by someone who navigates this space. Not for legal reasons, obviously, but to understand the dangers, to figure out how to protect people.
Alberto Daniel Hill.
Yes, Alberto Daniel Hill, a cybersecurity pro, 20 years in the field. He literally walked us through how this shadowy part of the internet works, showed us how criminals exploit it, and revealed some, frankly, chilling things you can find there.
Yeah, Alberto's perspective is invaluable. 20 years in cybersecurity, and he's a hacker himself, so he doesn't just read about this stuff.
Right.
He has the same knowledge, understands the tools the criminals use, and that insight, well, it's absolutely crucial if you want to build effective defenses against them. He knows the threats because he understands exactly how they work.
So before even trying to access these hidden sites, what's the absolute first step? Alberto stressed this, didn't he?
Security first, always. You have to secure your own computer and critically mask your actual location.
Okay, how does that work?
Well, he showed us how he routes his internet traffic. For privacy, he often routes it through the United States, but he explained you could make it look like you're connecting from almost anywhere in the world.
And he demonstrated this.
Oh yeah, very clearly. First, he checked his IP address, showed him near Uruguay, his actual general location. Then, using a virtual program, he connected through Austria, rechecked his IP, and bam, it showed Austria. His real location was effectively hidden.
Wow. Okay, so that's the foundational step, masking your location.
It's the absolute baseline for anonymity there, that first layer of protection before you go anywhere near the dark web itself.
All right, so security is tightened, location is maxed. Then what? How do you actually cross the threshold?
That's where the main tool comes in. The Tor browser. It's the most common way, probably the easiest way, for most people to access this hidden network.
Tor, I've heard of it. Is it hard to get?
Surprisingly, no. He showed us you just find it with a simple Google search. It installs quickly, like any other browser.
So what looks like a normal browser?
Pretty much, yeah. But behind the scenes, it's doing something complex. It routes your connection through multiple random relays, like those onion layers we mentioned, to obscure where you're coming from. It temporarily opens specific pathways on your computer to navigate this hidden network, basically.
And this Tor browser is what lets you access those special .onion links.
Exactly. Those .onion addresses only work within the Tor network. They aren't like regular .com sites, and normal search engines like Google don't index them.
So downloading Tor is easy, but finding the bad stuff isn't like just Googling it.
Not usually, no. That's a key point. Finding specific illegal marketplaces often requires knowing the exact .onion link beforehand, or maybe getting it from someone, some kind of guide. It's not designed for casual browsing.
And Alberto gave a warning about just jumping in unprepared.
A big warning. He emphasized that inexperienced users, people who just stumble in, very often get scammed. They send money, usually crypto, for illegal goods that just never show up.
So even on the dark web, there are scammers.
Oh, absolutely. It's kind of bizarre, isn't it? A sort of buyer beware situation.
Right.
He even showed us some sites that had warnings on them, saying certain services like hitmen for hire were likely scams.
Wow, a scam warning on a hitman site. That's something.
It really is. It sort of hints at this strange, perverse kind of market integrity, where even criminals need some kind of reputation, even in a place with zero real accountability.
Okay, so once he was safely inside, using Tor, location masked, what did Alberto actually show us? What's really available?
It was like stepping into a black market unlike anything else. The range of prohibited stuff was just astonishing.
Like what? Give us some examples.
Well, first, drugs, Pretty much anything you can imagine, cocaine, synthetics, even cannabis seeds.
How does that even work? Do you just send Bitcoin and hope to the best?
Actually, no. This was eye-opening. He described it working just like mainstream e-commerce sites. Think eBay or Mercado Libre.
Really?
With escrow systems, the payment is held and only released to the seller once the buyer confirms they've received the product.
That implies a level of trust. Or at least structure.
Structure, definitely. He even showed an example. LSD and heroin, say, might arrive hidden in a regular envelope, disguised to look like a bank statement or junk mail, to avoid detection by postal services or customs.
That's incredibly brazen. How would law enforcement even begin to track that?
That's the challenge, isn't it? Especially when it's mixed in with billions of legitimate letters and packages. The sheer volume makes it difficult.
Okay, so drugs are a big one. What else?
Financial crime tools. Cloned credit cards, bank accounts. He showed listings where you could buy account codes. Prices ranged maybe $130 up to $1,500 for certain types. And he was clear. These aren't just fake numbers. They're cloned from real active cards.
Clone cards. How much detail do they have?
Everything. He displayed listings showing hundreds of cards. You get the BIN, that's the bank identification number, the first few digits that tell you the bank and card type, which is critical for fraudsters. Plus the expiration date, the cardholder's name, postal code, city, state, country. He even filtered and found examples specifically for Uruguay.
Unbelievable. And the pricing?
It's disturbingly specific. He gave examples like 10 cards, each with a credit limit between $1,000 and $2,000, selling for just $90.
$90 for potentially $20,000 in credit lines.
Exactly. European Visa, MasterCards, sometimes even with the 4-digit PI included, payment. Usually Bitcoin or Monero for anonymity, sometimes Western Union, though that's riskier to trace.
Where do they even get all this card data from?
He'll explain the most likely sources are places where card skimming is easy. Think gas stations, maybe some smaller stores, restaurants, places where your card leaves your site, or where a skimming device can be quickly attached to a payment terminal.
Stimming devices. He showed those too.
He did. He demonstrated a small device, looked like a USB adapter. It's a magnetic stripe reader. You swipe a card through, it takes 1 second, and it copies the name, number, security codes, everything off the stripe.
1 second.
1 second. And he also showed another gadget, a radio frequency device. This one doesn't even need a swipe. It can read the data from contactless cards just by being nearby.
That is terrifying. It really makes you think twice about tapping your card anywhere.
It absolutely does. It shows that direct link between a physical vulnerability, like briefly handling someone's card, and enabling large-scale digital crime. Seeing him demonstrate these tools, thinking like the criminal, that's what makes his insight so valuable for defense.
Okay, so we have drugs, cloned cards. What about fake documents, IDs, passports?
Yep. He showed listings for fake U.S. driver's licenses. The sellers claim things like delivery in 48 hours, original holograms, UV light features, even claiming they'd pass police checks.
Do they really? I mean, how good are they?
Well, here's the kicker. Alberto admitted he actually bought one himself, put his own name and real data on it just to test the process.
He bought a fake ID from the dark web?
He did. And he said it arrived via DHL in just 2 days.
Wow. So he personally verified that they can deliver these sophisticated fakes.
Exactly. Which gives a lot more weight to their claims, doesn't it? If they can fool standard checks, the implications for security, identity theft, they're huge.
And passports, too.
Passports, too. He showed UK passports where you could choose the name. U.S. passports were listed for around $4,000 total. They had a payment system. $1,000 up front, then the remaining $3,000 only after the seller sent video proof that the passport was finished and looked legitimate.
A payment plan for a fake passport. The level of organization is just, wow. Anything else in this bizarre marketplace?
Oh, yeah. Counterfeit money, he showed an example, like 25 fake $50 bills for $75. Uncut diamonds. Gold nuggets, one listing offered an ounce of gold for $500, though they had order limits.
It's like a shadow Amazon for illegal goods.
Pretty much. It mirrors legitimate commerce in its structure, listings, payments, even customer service of a sort, but everything is illicit. Those payment structures, like installments for passports, they show an established, if criminal system trying to build trust.
And then weapons.
Weapons, too. He showed examples like a brand new Glock 19 pistol for around 500, 800 pounds. A Walther P99 for 650 pounds. Ammunition was available, too.
Can they actually ship guns internationally? That seems incredibly difficult.
He noted the challenges, yeah. International shipping is obviously very risky, but some sellers were claiming 100% success rates for delivery within Europe for certain items. How true that is, who knows?
Okay, this is already incredibly disturbing, but it gets darker, doesn't it? You mentioned hitmen.
Yes, Sicarios. That was probably the most chilling part. He described navigating to sites, including one that brazenly claimed to be the official marketplace for the Sinaloa cartel.
The Sinaloa cartel has a dark web shop.
Well, that's what the site claimed. It offered drugs, weapons, and, yes, hitman services for assaults or assassinations.
What kind of prices are we talking about?
The details were disturbingly specific. Prices apparently started around $5,000 for a basic shooting, maybe $10,000 for a sniper. And the sites had strict instructions. You must hide your IP using Tor for your safety and theirs, presumably.
Could anyone just set up a site and claim to be the cartel?
Alberto acknowledged that, absolutely. Anyone can create a site. Verifying authenticity is incredibly difficult, maybe impossible. It could easily be an elaborate scam, or worse, a trap.
What kind of information do they ask for if you were to hire someone?
It's extensive. Victim city, country, age, weight, height, physical build, their social status, where they work, what kind of security they might have, type of residence, a full profile.
And you specify the outcome.
Apparently. The desired outcomes ranged from, like, street intimidation, maybe a severe beating, which was listed at $2,000, $4,000, to making it look like an accident or a robbery gone wrong. Kidnapping was listed around $50,000. A sniper hit could range massively, from $15,000 up to $200,000, depending on the target's profile and location.
This is horrifying. How do they prove they're legitimate or that they did the job?
Some sites apparently link to real news articles he mentioned, seeing links to outlets like the UK Sun newspaper reporting on actual murders, and the site would claim responsibility as a kind of proof of work.
Claiming credit for real murders as advertising.
And the payment structure often mirrors other dubious services. 50% up front, the rest on completion. It's this bizarre attempt to create a contractual framework for murder.
Beyond the violence, were there other services, like hacking?
Yes, hackers for hire. He showed services offering to hack into, say, a Twitter or Facebook account for around $500.
Is that a realistic price?
Yeah, Alberto thought so. He suggested that significantly lower prices would likely be scams. $500 indicated a potentially real, if illegal, service, given the technical skill involved.
And we've talked about transactions, but Alberto also mentioned even darker corners.
He did, and we did tread carefully here, but yes, he confirmed the existence of the truly abhorrent stuff, child exploitation material, even hints of human trafficking, like listings claiming to sell teenagers from Asia.
How is that accessed?
Apparently, that kind of content isn't just out there. It's often restricted to VIP members, people with established reputations within those specific, vile cybercrime circles. It's a horrifying reminder of the absolute worst depths humanity can sink to, enabled by this anonymity.
It's almost too much to comprehend.
Yeah.
So bringing this back from the global scale, does this affect specific places? Like you mentioned, Alberto found examples relating to Uruguay.
Yes, and this is crucial. The dark web isn't some far-off entity. It has local connections. Alberto specifically showed search queries he found originating from or related to Uruguay.
What kind of queries?
Things like people looking for suicide pills, requests for green prescriptions, which likely means drugs requiring a specific prescription type, people asking how to join the mafia and specifying not as prostitutes, searching for drug sources within Montevideo, looking for guns locally, and even someone asking for a service to just give someone a scare, not kill them, just frighten them badly.
So real local demand for these illegal goods and services expressed on the dark web.
Exactly. It really bridges that gap between the anonymous digital world and tangible, real-world criminal intent happening right in local communities. It's not abstract. It's right there.
It's fascinating you mentioned the origins of Tor earlier. It wasn't created for this, was it?
Not at all. It's deeply ironic. Alberto explained it was actually developed by the American military.
The U.S. military created the tool that enables the dark web.
Initially, yes, but for a humanitarian purpose, to allow journalists and dissidents in oppressive regimes to publish sensitive information safely and anonymously without fear of reprisal.
Wow. So a tool for freedom fighters and journalists gets twisted into this.
It's a classic example of technology's dual-use nature, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Something created for liberation can be repurposed for crime. It's a constant challenge. How do you empower good without unintentionally empowering the bad?
Given the anonymity, is the dark web basically impenetrable for law enforcement? Can they ever catch anyone?
That's a common myth, that it's completely untouchable. Alberto confirmed it's not true. Agencies like the FBI, Europol, they've had successes. They've shut down major illegal marketplaces and arrested the operators.
Can you give an example?
Sure, he mentioned a big case back in 2017 where the operator of a huge drug market got sentenced to life in prison in the U.S. And more recently, a 2020 operation led to over 170 arrests worldwide related to dark web activities. So they are making busts.
How do they do it if Tor is so anonymous?
Well, that's the million-dollar question. Alberto noted that law enforcement agencies usually don't disclose their specific methods. Maybe they find flaws in the site's security, maybe they trace to cryptocurrency, maybe traditional undercover work. We often don't know the details.
That lack of transparency must be frustrating, but maybe necessary for them.
Probably. But it also means these sites keep popping up. It's a constant cat-and-mouse game. One market gets shut down, another takes its place.
And how does a country like Uruguay fit into this picture, cybercrime-wise? Alberto mentioned vulnerabilities there.
Yeah, he pointed out that while Uruguay generally has good internet access, its cybersecurity infrastructure, especially the legal side, hasn't quite kept pace.
How so?
Specifically in prosecuting cybercrimes. Often, they have to rely on older parts of the penal code that weren't designed for digital offenses, simply because there isn't specific up-to-date legislation for many types of cybercrime.
So old laws for new crimes, that sounds like a huge hurdle.
It is. It makes it much harder for prosecutors and judges to effectively investigate, charge, and sentence people for these complex digital offenses. It can create loopholes or just make the process incredibly slow and difficult.
And did the recent pandemic affect any of this?
Massively. Alberto explained how the huge shift to remote work really exacerbated the problem. Suddenly, you had millions of people working from home.
Right, connecting from their home Wi-Fi instead of the secure office network?
Exactly. Home networks are generally much less secure than corporate ones. Less robust firewalls, maybe shared devices, outdated software. It created a massive new attack surface, and cybercriminals jumped on it immediately.
It's like they're always adapting, always looking for the weak point.
They are incredibly adaptable. Any major societal shift, like the move to remote work, presents new opportunities for them.
Given all this, the dark side, the crime, do cybersecurity professionals like Alberto ever get tempted or approached?
He actually talked about that. He and his colleague, Nicholas Oliveira, mentioned they get requests constantly, daily even.
Requests for what?
People asking them to do illegal things. Hack someone's social media account, change university grades, even requests to help set up dark web marketplaces for selling illegal pharmaceuticals.
People actually ask cybersecurity experts to commit crimes for them.
All the time. Alberto joked that if he accepted even a fraction of those requests, he'd be making a fortune. It really shows you the constant demand that fuels this underground economy. It's not just happening out there. People are actively seeking these illicit services.
Okay, so the threats are real, they're sophisticated, they're even local. What can people, regular users like our listeners, actually do to protect themselves? Alberto must have had some advice.
He definitely did. Some really practical, key recommendations for you listening right now.
Let's hear them.
First off, the basics. Password power. You really emphasize this. Strong passwords, think 10 to 12 characters minimum.
Just long isn't enough, though, right?
Right. Needs to be a mix. Uppercase letters, lowercase letters, numbers, symbols. And crucially, don't reuse passwords across different websites or accounts.
That's the hard one. How do you even keep track?
He recommended using a password manager. There are good free ones available. They generate strong, unique passwords for each site and store them securely for you. You just need to remember one master password.
Okay, strong, unique passwords, use a manager. Got it. What else?
Next was something he called digital waste awareness. Basically, being careful with your old electronic devices when you get rid of them.
What, like old phones, old laptops?
Exactly. He shared this experiment he did. He went to a flea market, bought some old computers and hard drives someone had thrown out. And he found tons of personal data still on them. Photos, documents, emails. Stuff the previous owners clearly thought was deleted, but wasn't properly erased.
Oh, wow. So just deleting files isn't enough.
Not really. The data can often be recovered quite easily. He stressed the need to either encrypt your hard drive before disposal, or, if you really want to be sure, physically destroy it. Like, take a hammer to it.
Okay, note to self.
Yeah.
Hammer time for old hard drives. What about when we're out and about? Public Wi-Fi.
Big warnings there. Be extremely cautious with free public Wi-Fi. He explained how criminals use devices, sometimes called pineapple devices, that can mimic legitimate Wi-Fi networks.
Mimic them. Like, it looks like the coffee shop's real Wi-Fi.
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
It might broadcast a name like coffee shop free Wi-Fi, or maybe even clone the name of a network you've used before, like airport Wi-Fi. If you connect to their fake network,
They can see everything.
everything you send over that connection, banking logins, social media passwords, emails, it's all captured. He specifically mentioned an example, like a fake Wi-Fi Canal 4 network.
So, best to avoid public Wi-Fi for anything sensitive.
Definitely. Or use a VPN, a virtual private network, which encrypts your traffic even on public Wi-Fi.
Good tip. Any other public pitfalls?
One more he mentioned, those public phone charging lockers you sometimes see in malls or airports.
The little boxes where you lock your phone up to charge.
Yeah. He warned that those can also be compromised. They could potentially be set up to extract data from your phone while it's plugged in and charging. It's called juice jacking.
Juice jacking. Okay, another thing to be wary of. It feels like there are digital dangers everywhere.
There are definitely risks, but awareness is the first step to mitigating them.
So as we wrap up this really eye-opening deep dive, guided by Alberto Daniel Hill's insights, what are the main takeaways?
I think the biggest takeaway is just how organized and accessible this hidden internet can be, at least parts of it. We saw drugs, incredibly convincing fake IDs, cloned credit cards by the hundreds, weapons, even these chilling hitman services, all laid out like a dark version of Amazon.
Yeah, and while getting the Tor browser itself is easy, finding those specific illegal shops often takes more know-how, right? It's not like Google, which might actually protect casual users from the worst of it, ironically.
That's true. The truly inexperienced are maybe more likely to just get scammed than find a real cartel marketplace. But the potential is there.
And we learned it's not impenetrable. Law enforcement is fighting back, even if we don't always know how they do it.
Right, they're making arrests, shutting down sites. It's an ongoing battle, though.
Which leaves us with a final thought, perhaps. Given how fast cybercrime evolves, and the creativity, however disturbing, that criminals show in these hidden spaces, how can we, as individuals, as societies, possibly keep up? How do we defend against threats emerging from these digital shadows?
And maybe, what does it mean for society that these dark marketplaces offering the absolute worst of humanity alongside mundane criminal transactions are operating just below the surface of our everyday internet, just a few clicks away, in theory?
Definitely something to ponder as you navigate your own digital world. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.